All right, welcome to the daily market analysis for 25 May. What we're going to do tonight is go over updates to the market since last night and also identify setups tonight going into tomorrow. So, first pair we're going to go over is going to be UC. Delete that. So, on a 4-hour time frame, we've got now 1, 2, 3 hits to the low. If looking at the RSI, and just a disclaimer, disregard these. You'll see these throughout the webinar. I am back testing a strategy right now, but just focus on the RSI for now. So we got 1, 2, 3 hits to the low. You can see that price action is currently above the 13 EMA on the 4-hour time frame. TDI is on its way up to the mid-level line. Expecting them to continue pushing up. We'll drop down to the 4-hour time frame. The 1 hour. So they gave us first leg, second leg last night, right? Peaked at during US, and then is on its way back down to retest currently. They've got 1, 2, 3 hits to the high. We have today's high already, Asian high. Expecting them to come down, if not all the way back down to this low, then probably to this leg right here before continuing up. So that is what we're expecting. The bias is long. All right, moving on to NJ. So NJ, they had given us previously, as previously discussed, 1, 2, 3 hits to the high, right? And then they came back for after they completed the level, and they've issued us a star, right? TDI has hit the top Bollinger Band. We'll drop down to the 1-hour time frame. So we're just waiting on them to come back up and give us that second leg. Again, might not come all the way back up here to retest yesterday's high. They could stop at the Asian high, right? Today's high, the high of the day, before dropping, but the bias is short, right? Looking for short positions on NJ. All right, moving on to EU. So on the 4-hour time frame, this consolidation right here has exceeded, or this level has exceeded both of these legs right here. This is the peak. All right, this is the reference point. They've issued us a sun. You can see TDI isn't quite up to the top Bollinger Band just yet, right? They stopped and they've been consolidating along that market baseline. So drop down to the 4-hour. There's our first leg, second leg. They've given us a third hit right here. We're just waiting until it's kind of early for us to get in right now. Personally, like, even though it is 1, 2, 3 hits to the high, which is very, very enticing, I would rather wait to see how they behave in Asian. If they don't come back up during Asian and they take off from here, that's fine. But I don't want to get in too early and then they end up doing that move to the stop punt box, right? And then we get a stop loss. So we'll see when or how they'll break out during London if they decide to do that. If they do it now, then just wait for the next setup. All right, moving on to CJ. On the 4-hour time frame, TDI is right there at the market base, or below the market baseline at the mid-level line, and kind of a little bit of space in between TDI and the bottom Bollinger Band. They've narrowed out because of this consolidation. There hasn't been really a shift in the zone. There's no real trend, but the bias is still short. I'm just waiting for them to come back up, and we'll see how they behave once they get back in this box right here. All right, moving on to EA. So we got 1 and 2 hits to the high. TDI is currently shifting away from the market baseline. It has already hit, so we'll come back or come down to the 1 hour time frame. There's that second leg, and they've done 3 hits within here. Same thing as CJ. I don't want to get in too early during Asian, even though there is 3 hits to the high, which means the reversal is imminent, right? The reversal is going to happen. I would rather wait to see how they behave during the London session, but the bias is short. We're looking for short positions. All right, and that is it for the night so far. None of these other pairs have given us a second leg on the 4 hour time frame. NU is almost ready. It's actually hit the market baseline on the 4 hour. Let's see where they are on the 1 hour.
Not quite yet.
So waiting for them to continue pushing, potentially coming up to the high of the day, right? If not yesterday's high, so I'll go ahead and add a box in there. So from here, go ahead and drag this down. All right, and then that's where I see them coming to retest how far they plan on coming up tonight. And then this will be the trend. All right, so looking for short positions on NU. All right, is there any questions on what I went over? All right, I'm pass it off to Nick so we can go over his pairs.
All right, what's going on? All right, so starting off with GU, right? So GU's been in consolidation for several days now. So a little unsure. There's I don't really have a clear directional bias from my personal opinion on it right now. They've thrown these pins towards the 50 EMA a lot, and every time they've come back up. So until we see stronger evidence of a short, we're just going to be monitoring it. Additionally, right, you can see the RSI is bouncing off this bottom Bollinger Band, so they're going to end up coming back up for at least one more retest. Excuse me. So right now we're just going to be leaving it alone until we see a better indication of an actual trend. All right, GJ. GJ is setting up for a short much better. As you can see, they've been also in consolidation for several days, and they've been tightening up this range that they've been consolidating in. It started off nice and wide, and now it's very nice and tight. So moving down to the 1 hour chart. We're waiting on a retest is where we're at, right? So we're waiting on them to come back up. I'd like to see them come back up and pin the 50 before continuing down. You can see RSI's down at the bottom Bollinger Band. So they're definitely coming back up to retest, but we're definitely have a short bias on GJ. Just because of what we see on this 4 hour chart. And then additionally on the day chart, right? The day chart supports that as well. If we just zoom in a little bit here, you can see this small shift down. they're looking to do this trend reversal. And the EMAs are actually starting to close up, which is a good sign on the day chart. All right, EG is currently in a long position. This is a difficult pair to trade sometimes, and it's usually used for, at least for me, as part of my check down to reinforce the bias of other pairs. But they hit 3 hits to the low here, 1, 2, 3, and then they've started their shift up. They've issued us a moon on the 4-hour chart, so now we're really waiting on this on a retest. That's what we're waiting on. TDI is outside of the Bollinger Band, popped out here, right? It's came back in, but they're gonna probably need to come back down and pin this 50 again. Maybe it just as low as the 200, the white EMA, but somewhere in this range, right? They're gonna come back down and they're going to retest and complete the level. So we're gonna be waiting on that. I don't expect that to happen for another day or two. GN, clear short bias as well. However, they need to come back up and complete the level. They've shifted down aggressively, giving us a moon on the 4-hour chart. So we're going to be looking for a star at a bare minimum on the top side before we look at taking a trade short again. So as you can see on the 4-hour chart, it was outside of the Bollinger Band. You can see them coming back down to retest right now. Here's that moon that correlates to the moon on the 4-hour chart. Expecting them to kind of probably touch this market baseline, if not come all the way back down to the low level here before going back up to retest as shown on the 4-hour chart. All right, do you have any questions? All right, you got anything else for them? All right. As with every other webinar, we if you have questions, feel free to hit us up in the group chat or send us a direct message. Otherwise, we'll be back tomorrow, 8:30 Central Standard Time. Have a good night.